I want you to compare the length of the video with the average view time. It should be close to 100% or higher. If that's not happening, don't expect much FYP success. Give me those biggest TikTok growth questions. I'm going to answer them as best that I can. I'm going to help you get more followers faster. And if I miss your question, just keep asking it. Right? If I answer your question, stop. But if I'm either I'm really good looking or I have a filter on. I don't know which one it is. I'm probably really good looking. All right. Hey, Bale. That's another post. God, I feel like I have like a beauty filter on. How do I don't like this. I gotta turn it off. Filter. None. Dude, how do I turn off beauty mode? This is ridiculous. I don't know. Okay, maybe I'm just that good looking. Is that possible? Anyway, all right. Bring your biggest TikTok growth questions. I'm going to be answering them. I'm recording this for YouTube. Let me go and dig through and see. You're pretty, bro. Accept it. Thank you. Gen C says, bright video, more views and likes. Yeah, I mean, well-lit video tends to do well. That's why a lot of people have success with their in their bathroom mirror, because they have that lighting. Scuba Diver Joe says, what do you think of the new reply to comments on video thing? I think it's a great way to get new, I think it's a great way to get not necessarily new viewers, but people who have liked a comment that was in your thing, because everybody who liked that comment originally, that's why you should be going through, it gets a notification. So that's why you should be going through all your content and finding the comments on your posts that have the most likes. You do a video reply to that, everybody's going to see that video reply in their feed, so they're going to come back to your channel. And a lot of the people, believe it or not, have not followed you, so that's going to give you more exposure. Can I predict the next trending hashtag? Corin asks. I think it's going to be around pop culture. So like whatever's blowing up. So if you see something like Tiger King blow up, hurry up and like be one of the first people to get the hashtag around whatever the next Tiger King is, whatever the next COVID-19 is. Be one of the first people to talk about it. So maybe there's some kind of phrase around when we all are able to go back to school and work, play sports again, all that stuff. Maybe there's some kind of term that pops up for that. So, be the first person. Maybe it's like, what's the opposite of social distancing? Maybe it's like social reconnecting or something. Or maybe get on that now. Who knows what we're going to call it? It's kind of decided by the media. So yeah, be the first person to talk about whatever's going on in life. I can't read your name, but I am Arosia Guachi. I've got a question. If I delete a video, I get penalized. It's possible. I don't know for sure. I think that I always try to private first, and if I still have trouble, I delete. Privating a video just kind of hides it from your followers. So just do that. Just to be safe. Just do that. Why not? All right, looking for your questions. Stephen Bowling wants to know, what makes a video suddenly stop getting views after going viral? A video, they start out with your followers. And if you have legit followers, not like follow followers, but actual real followers, they're going to look at your content and love it. They're going to like it. They're going to watch all the way to the end. They're going to watch it more than once. Awesome. Then it's going to get pushed to more and more followers. And then it's going to be pushed to maybe, at some point it gets pushed to the For You page, usually at least a few no matter what. But the better it does with your actual followers, the more and more people it'll be pushed out to in terms of your, in terms of the For You page. So you're going to go to the For You page. People are going to be seeing your content. Now, the first people who see your content on the For You page are going to be very relevant, meaning they have liked posts with similar hashtags in the past. They have watched similar types of videos. And that's why we use relevant hashtags, to really show TikTok who to show, tell TikTok who to show your post to. So the reason everybody's posts end up dying out, including mine, eventually, is because it keeps getting shown to a broader and broader audience. Now these people are less relevant. Eventually, they're going to be like not relevant at all, and it's just like all the different phases of these little groups, whatever you want to call them, that TikTok shows it to. It's eventually going to fail just because people don't care, because they're just not interested in what that post is about. Hopefully that makes sense. Also, it just might not be that great of a video in terms of production, in terms of idea. All right. Nems official. Please answer how to get a banned account back. Well, I've never had an account banned, so I don't know. Maybe somebody else here. I would say you're probably not going to get your banned account back. It's possible. Thank you, Final Case. Yeah, it might be possible. I'm not really sure. Jem asks, does it affect your account if you delete and repost? I would probably private before I deleted. And if you repost, I would definitely change something. Even if it's just the description / caption, whatever you want to call it. Change that. Always change something when you repost. You don't just want to repost the exact same thing with the exact same caption. And I think privating is safer. All right, me and my big bald head says, besides yellow dots and kids / babies, what are the main reasons views get throttled? The yellow dot is not always a bad thing. The yellow dot is sometimes just like the audio got removed. So it's either, I think yellow dot means that there's something up with the audio. I think that's what it means. Either it found a potential copyright infringement or the audio got removed and then it's just not available anymore. So you don't always have to private or delete a yellow dot, but usually when you think it's a copyright issue, that's when you would remove it. And then anything that is just against the community guidelines, self-harm, that kind of thing, suicide, chat, anything that's potentially risky. I would avoid politics and religion. They really want this thing to be just kind of like a fun, carefree type of place. So if you get a little bit too serious, it might be, and just experiment, right? Just kind of see what works for you and your content. Certain niches might be a little bit more flexible than others, I guess I could say. Squish Savvy. Any advice for a shadow banned account? Well, usually when people tell me they're shadow banned, they're actually not. I think that TikTok content suppression happens on a content by content piece basis. And so, you might have just uploaded a couple bad videos in a row. And by bad, I mean like they're not getting people to watch all the way to the end. That's why I recommend people make shorter videos. In fact, if some of you guys were paying attention to my account, you'll see that I uploaded the same video 3 times with 3 different lengths. 60 seconds, about 30 seconds, and 9 to 10 seconds. And guess which one dominated? It was the one with 9 to 10 seconds. And I'm going to be sharing pay attention to my channel, I think probably today, later on, if I have a chance. I'll be showing you guys the actual analytics and kind of showing you how that panned out. But the one that 9 to 10 seconds got like way more views than the other two. So, but it was interesting. The 60-second version got more than the 30-second version. So, interesting stuff there. But my point is, usually when people think they're shadow banned, they're actually not. They're actually just uploading a couple bad pieces of content in a row, and then they just like stop. So like, okay, yesterday I uploaded 3 pieces. Each one only got 0 to 1 or 2 views or whatever. And then it's like, well, did you try anything else after that? No. So it's like you uploaded like just like 3 bad or videos that were triggered something in the algorithm because they had a negative word in the description / caption. So my point is, if you think you're shadow banned, you're probably actually not. Just keep uploading, trying some different stuff, and watch what you say in your description. But if you have something that you feel really strongly it should have done decently, try uploading it with a different description. I've done that multiple times. In fact, my first video that was in the million included the word breast because it was about cooking chicken breast in my air fryer, and I had the word breast in the description caption, and then I removed that word, even though that word was still in the TikTok in a text bubble. You know, it exploded after getting like 10 views over 24 hours the first try. All right, let's see your biggest TikTok growth questions. Let's get them in. We got a good turnout today. Also, I'm doing a contest. I don't know if y'all saw it, but my most recent post on TikTok, if you share it publicly, comment, like it, and download my TikTok growth guide, all 4 of those things, you'll be entered to win a TikTok account review where I look at your content. I tell you the 3 things that you need to be doing in order to grow your followers and viewers faster, and you'll get at least a couple thousand people seeing your content on my channel, up to millions. You know, I have content that's in this. My top piece of content is at 16 million. Probably won't get anywhere near that, but it's not impossible. So check out that contest. It's my 50K special contest. I don't have a really nifty name, but say sup Shelly. Did they remove the ability to dislike comments? I remember a bunch of people were posting screenshots of this feature, and I never got it. So part of me is like, was that ever even a thing? Like, I don't know. It just never, like, I'm a TikTok tester and I never even saw it. So Squish Savvy. My other account was on the FYP for a month and haven't since March 5th been consistently posting. What my next question in that situation would be like, what is your average view duration? And the way to figure that out, of course, you want to have pro mode enabled, and then you go into your analytics. I want you to compare the length of the video with the average view time. It should be close to 100% or higher. If that's not happening, don't expect much FYP success. Even 80% a lot of the times isn't enough. You want to be as close as possible to 100% or higher. For example, if your video is 8 seconds long, you want a average view time of like 10, 11, 12 seconds. Ideally, if you can even get 9, you'll have FYP success almost definitely. The problem that a lot of y'all are having, you're making these long videos and people are not staying to the end. Now, the longer your video is, the more flexible this can be. Like 80% could probably work just fine for a video that's like 20 to 30 seconds, but 80% is not going to work fine for 8 seconds or 10 seconds or 15 seconds. So my point is, if you make shorter videos, it gets a lot easier to keep people's attention to the end. But you don't want it to be too short either. Too short can be problematic. So I say about 8 to 10 seconds is where you want to be playing in the early days. If you can't get people to watch to the end of your 8-second video, what chance do you have of keeping their attention to the end of your 15 or 30-second or 60-second video? So make shorter content. It gets a lot easier. And then as you get better and better at TikTok and holding people's attention, that's when you would increase the time of your video. But experiment too. Keep experimenting. All right, Colabello. He has 325K and he wants to know how to monetize your account. Well, with 325K, assuming you're what we know as a premium account, which means it's actually you on the camera and you're not just posting other people's clips. A lot of people, they feel like they have a successful TikTok channel, but all they're doing is posting other people's clips and not giving credit, or even if they are giving credit, like it's just not that valuable. There's just no trust built there. You're just kind of like a clip channel. As opposed to somebody who's like faces on camera or their voice and their audience connects with them as a human being, as opposed to just a place to see cool clips. That's a lot more valuable. That's the kind of thing that can get you, in my opinion, a lot better brand opportunities. People want to connect with you to kind of piggyback off your trust. And so that's where you can monetize your account. Sponsored brand deals, kind of like we see on Instagram and stuff like that. I think there's a potential a lot more trust to be built on TikTok because it's video as opposed to just like a picture that's most likely doctored up in ridiculous ways by Photoshop experts. So number one way to monetize your account, brand deals. And the easiest way to get a brand deal, if you have a bigger account, from my understanding, I don't have a lot of experience with this personally, but products and things that you already feature in your videos. Let's take Charlie and Duncan. You know, she was already featuring and talking about Dunkin' Donuts coffee in her posts. And you know, I think they reached out to her and to offer her a free, I'm sure several $1,000 iced coffee machine for her home, and like an unlimited Dunkin' gift card. Now she probably could have leveraged that if she wanted to play hardball. She probably could have leveraged thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars for some sort of agreement between them. But I think she's just having fun right now. And they've got other people who have monetized their account just by like getting attention to their acting or their singing or their music or their dancing or whatever, and getting a ton of just a ton of work for what it is that they do. You can also get paid for appearances if you have the right amount of clout. Can you imagine how much Charlie would be worth? Let's just say for TikTok Live. What is that? What is that conference? It's like TikTok Live. I forgot what it's called, but could you imagine how much Charlie would demand if somebody wanted her to show up, just so they could say, "Hey, Charlie's going to be at this conference. You need to come because Charlie's going to be here." For that conference, I mean, that would be worth tens of thousands of dollars just to be able to say that. Probably more. So, it's just they'd sell a ton of tickets just from Charlie being there. Just from them saying Charlie would be there, they'd sell tons of tickets. Matt Bevins wants to know how much does my oop, I totally lost your question. I think you said Matt Bevan wanted to know how much does my age matter. Your age matters a little bit. Like you can't go live until you're 16, but there's a lot of younger people. I'm going to be making a post about this soon, but I recently decided to allow my 10 and 11, soon to be 12-year-old on TikTok because they finally fixed. They finally fixed restricted mode. Now it's not perfect, but it's a lot better than it used to be. Where I don't feel 100% confident, but I do feel a lot more confident that that it's going to be a lot more kid-friendly content. And nothing's going to be perfect, just like YouTube. Their restricted mode is not going to be perfect. So I understand that, but I think it's a lot better than it was. And y'all need to be paying attention to what I'm saying right now. People like me who really, really care and really, really pay attention to what it is that my kids are doing online. I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people like me out there. So, you know, people are really, really paying attention, and they're now allowing their 10 to 12-year-old on TikTok where maybe they weren't before, because restricted mode is working at a pretty good level. That means a lot more younger people are going to be joining TikTok and looking for people to follow, looking for people to like all their posts and comment. So that's potential audience for you and your channel. And if you are too adult oriented with your content, you're going to miss out on that. So think about that. Think about the people who are getting ridiculous amounts of views on YouTube. Like a lot of them are like family friendly stuff. So yeah, it might be an angle for you. It's not going to be an angle for everybody, but it could be an angle for you. Josh says, congrats, I've grown 27,000 thanks to you. Thanks. Dude, that is so cool to hear. Congratulations. Love it. Love seeing comments like that. If I helped you grow, please let me know, because it makes my day every time. Virgo wants to know, how can I get on the FYP at all, even just once? So every single post has a chance to go to the FYP, and I would argue every single post does go to the FYP, even if it's only like 1, 2, or 3 or something like that, which may not even show in your pro mode analytics, which if y'all don't have pro mode enabled, it's settings, manage my account, enable pro mode. You'll be able to see the analytics for every single one of your videos, and you can see how long people are watching for. If they're not watching to the end, your post probably isn't going to the FYP more than like a few. But yeah, the more people watch to the end and rewatch your video, the better chance you'll have. So make that a priority going forward, and you should be fine. So all right, let's get some more questions. Let's get some more questions for the 50K special. By the way, I'm running a contest. Anybody who's just joining, I'm running a contest. Check my latest TikTok for more details. But I'm we're gonna be randomly selecting 3 people. I'm gonna look at your content. I'm gonna tell you the top 3 things you need to be focusing on to get more followers and views faster. And you're gonna get exposure to my audience, which means at least a couple thousand views, possibly millions. Slyfoot wants to know, hey Jeff, all the stars seem to be wealthy. Seems like they all have mansions. Correlation. It's a good question. There has been a leaked TikTok document where they said they intentionally suppressed content that looked like people weren't. It looked like people were kind of struggling financially. Like if they were in below average home conditions, or I forgot the exact wording they used, but it was like if somebody looked poor, let's suppress them. That leaked. So, I talked about this on my channel. Some of y'all might have seen this. I think the title of the article, the title of my TikTok was like TikTok suppressing ugly people or something like that. But it was like people who are less attractive, people who look like they were poor, or people with like bullying targets kind of thing. And of course they denounced that. We don't do that anymore. But you got to remember, you got to think like, okay, this is ingrained in their culture, and this is Chinese culture. It's a little different than most. So you got to think there might be a little bit of that going on. I think it's really important to kind of understand those guidelines and still kind of stay away from them. So, if you have lesser impressive like home conditions, like just try to find a spot in your home that it just kind of takes the emphasis off the background. Like me, I use this little background. It's like a matte background. You can see it just kind of hangs behind me. So that's kind of sitting here behind me. And it just puts the focus on me and not my background, right? And it puts the focus on my content. And I have a nice ring light. Things look nice. Even though I'm literally in a laundry, like multi-purpose room, a laundry room. So, it's like whatever. But it's not super cool background kind of thing, and I'm still having success. The Tom A. So, should we make more for kids? You could. It just depends on your target. What are you trying to get out of TikTok? Like for me, I want to get in front of more entrepreneurial types, people who are already having a little bit of success with their business and growing. So, for me, maybe just a little bit with the kid stuff, just to kind of bump up my numbers a little bit. But for me, like it's probably not going to be the biggest thing for me. But for other people, it's like they just want to make people laugh. And their comedy, they can find a way to do like clean comedy that's family friendly, but not in a way like my girls were telling me they're not big on like a certain, I don't want to say the name, but they're not big on a certain celebrity that's geared to like younger girls, even though she's family friendly. So like I think there's a way to go a little bit overboard to where like even the 10 and 12-year-olds are not into you anymore. So try to find that middle ground, I think. And if you want to make like the SpongeBob SquarePants thing, right? Like if they want to make an adult joke, they kind of do it in a way that's kind of tongue in cheek, over the head of most younger people, but also, if you're an adult or an older teen, you know exactly what they're getting at. You know what I mean? Abby_VT. In the past 2 weeks, I'm not even getting 100 views. Okay. So if you're not getting 100 views, I would say that I would bet that if you looked at your promote analytics, for the videos that you're not getting 100 views, I would bet that you're not getting people to watch to the end. So your videos are either too long or they're too boring. Sorry if that's blunt, but just trying to save time. Hey, is that a concert? Woohoo! Thank you for the concert, Nathan. Ernesto asks, do you think it is a bit harder for people who are not from the USA to become famous? Maybe. I mean, I don't know what the per country stats are. I know there's a ton of people from like India who got famous, and if you saw my post about like the people who got famous on TikTok and became millionaires, a bunch of them were from other countries than the US. Is it harder? I would say it might even be easier to become famous if you're not in the US, because I think the US has a lot of competition. If you're in another country, you can maybe stand out more. You're not competing with these juggernauts from the USA like Charlie. You know what I mean? Maybe you could be the Charlie of the Netherlands. Maybe you could be the Zach King of Australia or something. Because the way TikTok works, they push your content out to your own country first, more often than not. Yeah, there's some exceptions, But basically, you kind of need to dominate your own country before moving out. And there's some hacks. Like if you saw my post from yesterday, some people are figuring out some ways to kind of get their get their content in another country rather than their own. My question is, why do you want to? Are you sure you want to do that? You might not. So really think about that. You might want to dominate your own country first because there's less competition. And there's this guy from India. He keeps popping on my For You page, and you might have seen him. He does like, this is gonna be a bad impression, but he's like, Jeff Garrett. He kind of looks like this. He's like, Jeff Garrett said that, and then he goes, he does like that. You've probably seen his stuff, and like, I don't know. It's like, he dominated India because his stuff is just like really fast and really engaging and kind of funny, and you can tell English isn't his first language, but he's still doing well. I don't know if that impression. If anybody knows who I'm talking about, let me know. You know who I'm talking about. Sidward knows who I'm talking about. All right, so Sneezy. I am from Australia, but my content is mainly blowing up in India. That's really interesting. So, what does your Australia stats look like? All right, NST says, what's more beneficial, 6 videos in one day or 0 the next, or 3 videos one day and 3 videos the next? Why not 6 both days? So I've been telling people at least 4 pieces a day. There's definitely a correlation with the more content you post, the more success you're having. Like a lot of people look at me and they're like, oh, 50K, but they don't realize I've uploaded more than 700 videos to this platform. So I mean, I've been grinding for months and about 5 months of pretty, 4 to like 7 per day probably is where I'm at for the last 5 months, and now I'm at 50K. So my question is, why don't you just do 6 per day on both days or 5 per day? Like, yeah, just step it up. Just take every single day and like, all right, how am I gonna get like 4 pieces of content up today? That's what I would recommend to you. The teddy bear dog. Do I make any money from TikTok at 50K? Yeah, I make some money. I'm selling TikTok consulting. That's probably where most of my money is going to be coming from. I'm doing TikTok consulting packages, both private, like VIP, that's kind of expensive. I've got one that's kind of designed for people doing like with a business that are doing like 100K to like $1 million per year in top line revenue. That's pretty affordable for them. And I've got something that's really affordable for people doing, making a little bit of money from this stuff. That's group coaching. So reach out if you want to learn more about that. Of course, I've got a free community. Anybody who downloads the guide in my bio will get an invite to my free TikTok growth community group chat. And some other ways that I'm making money are, I've got I'm associated with that platform which I mentioned. It's seo.co/TikTok money. It's a platform that if you use that link, you'll see it, but you can do paid duets. You can also refer people whenever they make money on the site. You get a commission whenever, and you can also like purchase advertising, so you also get a commission from that. So I'm making a little bit of money from that, not a ton, but enough to be like, okay, this is cool, and a lot of potential there going forward whenever the social distancing thing goes down and people are investing more money in themselves. Some other ways I've made money is affiliate marketing. Like whenever I have a product that I talk about, I'll like put an affiliate link, and if somebody buys it, I'll get a commission. Not a ton of money from that, but a little bit. But my biggest driver of revenue going forward is just helping people grow their own TikTok and working with them privately and in a group setting. All right, Rob wants to know. So strange. Got from 21,000 views down to view 1. I think maybe English isn't your first language, but he's now averaging about 400 views. Nothing is on my analytics. That is strange. A lot of times when people tell me that, I look at their account and they've only posted a few posts recently. Just keep your consistency up, keep your quality up, and you'll do just fine. Also, this platform's getting more crowded, so it's getting harder and harder to stand out with like average content. So if you want to stand out, step up your quality of your production quality and your ideas. Make sure you have some good ideas. Make sure your videos are short. Make sure people are watching to the end. And if all those things are true, I think your problems are going to go away. So just, yeah, post consistently every single day, at least 4 times. I think that's going to fix you. All right, let's get your biggest TikTok growth questions. Virgo, do hashtags matter? I've seen it both ways. Hashtags help long term. I think hashtags are like a long term growth strategy. You definitely don't need them to have success, but I think they definitely help. I don't want to say marginally, but I think they can give you. I think they have a lot of upside. So if you use relevant hashtags, and I'm not talking about hashtag FYP. I'm not talking about hashtag XYC whatever. I'm not talking about hashtag like just using trending hashtags that don't make any sense for what the content is. I'm talking about relevant hashtags that tell the algorithm exactly what your content is about. That's gonna like help the algorithm. That's like an algorithm helper to like let them know who to show your content to. And it really is the FYP. It's not people searching around hashtags. I doubt very many people use the search feature on TikTok at all. So really what hashtags do is they help the algorithm understand what your content is about so that they know who to show it to. So that they show it to the most relevant people possible, which guess what? They're going to engage with your content. They're going to like it. They're going to comment. They're going to share because it's right up their alley, where the people who use irrelevant hashtags, like there's just so many. I mean, just whatever's trending at the time, they throw that in hoping they get some new eyeballs. But those people are just like, some of them are going to like their stuff just because it's cool, but like, unless it's really, really crazy, awesome content, it's probably not going to do much for you. Sen Popey. Sorry, I lost the question. One sec. There it is. What do you do when you're a cosplayer and your content doesn't appeal to an average view? Well, if people aren't engaging with your content and they're not watching to the end, you need to try some other stuff. You need to keep experimenting because what you're doing isn't working. Like if people aren't watching to the end and your content is short, that's a problem. And cosplay, I think you need to combine it with something. Cosplay by itself is not that interesting, I think. It's cool to see somebody in content, but like post after post of just somebody in a costume. So like, what are you going to combine that with? I would say maybe combine it with lip syncing, combine it with dancing, combine it with music. Like, you got to combine. I think you got to combine a cosplay because there's a bunch of cosplayers. How do you stand out? Well, you stand out by doing some other cool stuff. That's my recommendation. Marble wants to know, hey, Marble, congrats on that. Following the advice and getting, like, what, 1 million views on that video? Let's go, Marble Mannequin. Let's go. Marble Mannequin. That is somebody who followed my advice and is having massive success. All right, is it better to respond to comments as soon as they come in or wait a few hours so they come back in? I would say as soon as you can. That's the way I do it. I reply as soon as I see them. I would spend the first 30 minutes to an hour replying to every single comment to really build up that engagement to keep things going. Because the first few hours are so important that the more engagement you can build on those early stages will help it a lot. So, yeah, I would do it early rather than late. All right. My brain across social media is instinctual. Should I change it? Yes. I think it's hard to read. Why not just use the whole thing or just put instinctual brand or instinctual marketing or something like that and like spell it out the whole way? Yeah, because I think it's hard to read with the abbreviation. Anthony wants to know, when am I picking the 3 accounts? I'll probably wait like a week or so just to let it build up. I hate to do it too early and then have people miss out. But I think a week should be enough to give everybody a chance. Alexa, remind me in 1 week to pick the 3 winners.
What time April 27th should I remind you?
10:49 a.m.
Okay, I'll remind you April 27th at 10:49 a.m.
Sorry for anybody. I just set their Alexa. That's my fault. But you heard me. I just set my alarm for 1 week. Sorry about your Alexis. Oh, jeez. Ah, jeez. Ah, boy. All right, Jacob. What do you think about building a brand on TikTok? How can people stay visually consistent? Well, that's kind of two questions. Number one, I think TikTok is a great way to build a brand. What better platform is there right now to build awareness to whatever it is you're trying to do? I don't think there is one. And how can people stay visually consistent? To be visually consistent, I guess one thing that I did, I kind of had this blue background for a while, and I kind of, and you'll see it on my profile picture. A lot of my videos had that blue background, and I guess it helped me stand out a little bit. But then I eventually did a poll, and people said the gray looks better, and it's a lot better for the green screen. So yeah, I went with gray. But just visually consistent. What are those repeating visual elements that you can use? And the way you find something that works is just looking at your analytics. Which of your videos had the most success? Was there anything visual? Because I think the visual aspect is huge for TikTok. So like, what is that visual thing that you can kind of come back to again and again that really draws people in, like people who don't know you? Yashi, please tell me what I should do for the views. Well, easiest thing for me to tell you is to go grab the guide in my bio. It's a TikTok growth guide. We cover things like what is your goal of TikTok, how to find your target audience, and then the more tactical type of thing. The easiest thing I can tell you is create short content that gets people to watch all the way to the end. That'll that'll make it easier for you to go to the For You page and get a lot of views. Dumpster Diamond said, posting every day has really helped me. Well, that's good to hear. Hopefully, um, you're keeping an eye on your analytics and seeing what's working and doing more of that and doing less of what's not working. Gray shirt, chair, and wall. Jeff's a floating head. Yeah, you know, just happened to have a gray shirt on today. Didn't think that much about it. Rob, thanks for all the advice. Cool. My pleasure. B. Fuentes, I want to aim to Hispanic views. How do you do that? I would definitely make sure to use Hispanic wording and Hispanic hashtags in your caption slash description. I would definitely do that, and that should be enough. And you should know by your comments. Okay, Boomer, do I play Fortnite? Yes, I play with my kids, and I actually played without my kids a little bit yesterday. I kind of like that new mode where the knockout mode. That's pretty crazy. It's super intense. A Crucian, is it true that if we don't choose a niche, it is hard to have a great account? I love different stuff. So the cool part about having a niche is that it helps you stand out. Where if you make a bunch of variety content, you just kind of blend in with everybody else. So having a niche can really help you grow in the early stages. Just to have something that you're kind of known for, or like a certain group of people that you're talking to, whether it's like 12 to 14-year-old boys who are getting bullied, or 18 to 24-year-old women who are single, or something like, just like, what is your target audience? And then if you make content just for them, to help them, like for whatever, maybe it's to entertain them, maybe you help them solve whatever their problems are. I think that can help you grow an audience. And then when you have the following, you can kind of experiment with other stuff that you're interested in. Let's take Charlie for example. If Charlie put out a video and she had, let's just say Charlie was just brand new to TikTok and she put out a video that was just talking about her dog. That's something she's passionate about. I'm assuming she has a dog. I don't know, but she probably wouldn't get much, if any, views or success. But now, if Charlie were to do that exact same post, she'd get millions of views. Because now she became known as like the dancer of TikTok, because she's a very good dancer and because she's very consistent, and her videos always look good. She kind of dominated her niche. Now it's too hard. You got to be more than a dancer now. You got to do something else plus dance or whatever. You got to combine some different stuff. Because TikTok is a lot more mature now than it was many, many months ago. So you do have to, I do recommend having a niche or some kind of specific thing that you want to be known for. Otherwise, it's going to be a lot harder to stand out. I'm Sidward says, can you have 2 or 3 niches for a wide audience? Um, if your niches don't overlap, I would have 2 different accounts. For me, this main account is for people who are looking to like get the most out of TikTok and entrepreneurial types. Usually there's a lot of overlap there, but for my sports content, I created Jeff Corrett Sports. For my fitness content, I created Jeff Corrett Fitness. Um, people who on this page are following me because they want to grow more followers and views faster. They don't necessarily want to hear what I think about the Saints and the Pelicans probably. So that kind of thing, right? But if there's overlap, I might post it here. And every now and then, now that I do have a decent audience, I might put a funny video on this channel instead of my comedy channel. So, but in the early days, keep it really tight niched, I think. Good morning, Bo. All right, let's get your biggest TikTok growth questions in. And if you're late, I'm going to be putting this video on my YouTube, assuming because I'm recording this on my PC. So I'm gonna be putting this on my YouTube. So make sure to follow me there and go check that out later. If you're late, if you missed the first half, because I'm feel like I'm dropping some really good knowledge today. Give me a few more big TikTok growth questions, and I'll get you guys an answer. Do my best. Does like to view ratio matter? So I think that's certainly something you want to look at, but it's not everything. I think people put too much faith in that. The number one thing to get a lot of views is getting people to watch to the end, and of course rewatching is even better. But it doesn't matter how many likes you get as much as it does people watching to the end. So attention is the number one thing you need to be focusing on. Getting people to watch to the end is more important than likes. But of course, like, the likes tell you something. They tell you, okay, of the people who got to the end, assuming people got to the end before liking, how many of them were satisfied with the way the content ended? So if you're tricking people or something to watch to the end and they get to the end, they're probably not going to like it. They'll be like, oh, this guy tricked me and whatever. But if they were like, oh, I'm glad I watched that, they'll like it. So it does tell you something, but it's not everything. Anderson Blue, how am I recording my video on PC? Great question. I should probably let me make a note to make a piece of content about this. But I'm going to go ahead and answer you right now. Okay. So I'm using a software called BlueStacks. It emulates Android on your PC. So I have it running. I have BlueStacks running with TikTok open. I logged into one of my other accounts and then loaded up Jeff Corrett from there. Started the live stream, and I'm running screen recording software, which also records audio. And then that's going to make a video, and I'm going to upload that over to YouTube. Hopefully that makes sense. Dancer for life. I keep getting my sounds pulled. Why? I think that you should just stick to your trending sounds. Any custom sounds might trigger potential copyright issues. Dylan wants to know, does the linear account videos influence the algorithm? It could. It could. I don't know for sure, but what I do is I private instead of delete, because typically whatever the problem is, that solves it. And if there is a penalty for deleting, I don't suffer from it. Jacob, how do I get my removed video back? You're probably not going to get your removed video back. There is an appeal thing you can do on the TikTok notifications where it says this post was removed for violating community guidelines. Hold on one sec. Okay, I actually just realized I have a meeting that's in 2 minutes, so I got to end this right now. So, yeah, go check out my stuff and check out the contest and my most recent TikTok post. I'm glad I checked my calendar. Jeez. What else? Yeah, download the TikTok guide in my bio, and thank you all for 50K. And y'all go out there and get you some new followers and some views.